Hi everyone, I'm Brittany from Quarter Acre Roots, formerly by Brittany Goldwyn, and here we talk a lot about growing sustainably in small spaces. One of my favorite times of year to plant is fall. It is about mid-October here in Maryland Zone 7A. I've done a bunch of nursery hopping the last few days and I got a great haul today, so I'm going to show you guys the fall clearance plants I got to put in our garden. Because not only is fall a great time to plant, a lot of plants are marked down at nurseries so you can get a steal of a deal. Now, while these two were probably the least impressive deal I got today, these are really great for privacy shrubs. So they grow to be like about, I don't know, maybe 10-ish feet tall, maybe a little taller. We have a line of these all along our fence where we're really close to one of our neighbors, and they are just starting to clear the fence line. All of the trees that we've put there, we've been putting in over the years during fall clearances. So these retailed for $30 and they were 50% off today, even though they are in really, really wonderful condition. So these are also a really good size. A lot of times when you pay that for one of these arborvitaes, they'll be like about this tall. So I could not pass up two of these for 50% off. And these were from one of my local Lowe's. Another plant we got quite a few of, I think we got, three here. We got three of these sweetie pie blackberry plants. So blackberry plants will generally propagate themselves over the years, not as well as raspberries, but they will propagate themselves. So you don't have to buy lots of blackberry plants, even if they are for cheap. But these look in really, really great condition. They have some great growth on them already. And these were on sale for 50% off of their 50% off price. So 75% off, I guess. So each of these was about $3 and they are really good, nice sized plants. Now I have blackberries and black raspberries up in the front of the yard, and I think I'm going to add a couple plants to an empty sunny space on the side of our yard too, because we eat a lot of blackberries. So I honestly don't feel like we'll ever have too many blackberries. And if the plants do spread too much, I can just dig them up and give them away. And speaking of blackberries and black raspberries, I scored this black raspberry plant. You can see how long the nursery let this one go for. I believe this was a jewel black raspberry. So I got this from a local independent nursery for $5 was the price of this one. And this one is not looking too hot, but generally black raspberries are a little bit harder to find in my area. So to avoid ordering them online whenever I see them, I have tried to buy them this year. So this is the second black raspberry plant I've purchased this year. I'm gonna put them right next to each other in the front yard. And the reason why I'm putting my black raspberries and my blackberries in the front yard is because I have my red and golden raspberries in the backyard, and black raspberries can carry I believe it's a fungus that does not affect them, but it affects the yellow and red raspberries. So you can try to have them at least, I think it's like 100 feet apart, but we do not have a very large growing space. So I just decided to put my red and gold raspberries in the back of my backyard, and then the front and side yard, I have my black raspberries and my blackberries. Okay, next up, I also got these at Lowe's. These are two perennials. Each of these I think were $2 or $3. So this is a blanket flower cultivar, which is really, really pretty. I have one of these, but it has not been looking too hot the last couple years. I moved it this year and it kind of looks dead, so I'm not sure if it's gonna come back this spring, but I really like these flowers, so I went ahead and picked up another one for just a couple bucks. And then this is an ostrich fern. These get rather large, so this is going to go in the back in the area that is increasingly shaded by our large red bud. So those are the only two non-edible things that I picked up at Lowe's today. The most exciting part of my Lowe's trip today was the blueberries. I got 5 blueberry bushes. I would have gotten more because they were like $3 each, but these are in perfect condition blueberry bushes. So these are what variety is it? This is Sunshine Blue Blueberry, which I was not familiar with. I looked them up. They are a southern high bush variety, and they are a compact plant. So generally they're only going to get, what does it say on here? These are only going to get to be about 3 feet high and about 5 feet wide. So what I was reading online is that a lot of people will plant these in like kind of a circle, since they stay kind of a little bit more compact and not as super tall as some of the high bush varieties of blueberries get. These have a medium-ish size dark blueberry, according to the internet. Again, I do not have any of this variety in my backyard. But for like $3 each, I had to come home with with 5 of these. There were more. It was really hard to leave them because we love blueberries and they freeze so great. So if I could think of more space to get them in the ground over the next couple weeks, I would have come home with them, but alas, I only came home with 5. These 2 sedums I picked up when I was doing some grocery shopping at Walmart. These are big, they're huge, they're really, really healthy looking, and they were only $3 each. So I, of course, had to bring them home. Now, I'm usually trying to only bring home either natives or edibles for the garden, but these are super duper drought tolerant. They will spread and provide some good ground cover and some good visual interest, especially later on in the season. Right now, these can have some really nice blooms at the top of them. So I'm gonna put these in some sunny, bare spots in my front yard where I just need to fill things out a little bit with things that are not going to be demanding and needy as far as watering goes. So again, $3 for these. They're looking really, really lovely. And then the last thing I picked up today at Lowe's, I'm usually not a chrysanthemum person, but these were each, what were they? Normally $8. I think I paid $2 or $3 each for these. So I did pick these up. I'm gonna put these on the front porch for the next week or so because my neighbors have chrysanthemums on the front porch and they look really great. So I got these 3 colors here, the yellow, the orange, and the purplish pink, so that I can plant them, obviously not this close together, but I will plant them probably in the back in some sort of arrangement like this, spread out a little bit so that they can kind of fill in and provide some ground cover back there, since we are going to be getting rid of some more grass back there, and wherever I can have things covering the ground, I am happy because it helps a lot with moisture retention and with suppressing weeds. And I also just like that these provide some late season color. So when you're buying mums, if you want to keep them in the ground, make sure to look at the tag to see if they are the kind that will be perennial where you live, meaning you can put them, you can keep them in their planters, you can put them on your porch, but then you can transition them into the ground to live as perennials when you're done displaying them on your porch or whatever you're doing with them. So that's what we're going to do with these 3 beauties. The very last purchase that I have picked up this year, I got at Walmart when I got the 2 sedums. So these are a type of evergreen I have back here in the back of the yard. They are a part shade loving evergreen. I can't remember exactly what kind they are, what they're called, but it's the kind that like they'll grow up and people will prune off the bottom to make them look like kind of fairy mushroom like. And these were $3 each. These are looking a little bit rough here. They've got some bad spots on them, but it doesn't really matter. They will fill in next year. They'll fill in over time. And I'll show you guys what I mean by what we've done with some pruning on some of these in the backyard. Some other clearance bushes that did have some bad spots on them like these. One of the reasons I wanted to show all of these super cheap clearance bushes, I think everything that I just showed you guys, I spent like maybe 80 total on everything, and honestly 30 of that was just from the 2 tall privacy shrubs. But we have our line of privacy shrubs all along our fence that I'll show you guys here. So all of these were clearance shrubs, and these all started much, much, much smaller than they are. So the tallest ones there were only about halfway up the fence, and some of them had some really bad spots on them. You can see back here, this one we did have to prune up on the bottom because it had so much dead growth on it. But as these grow, they fill in any dead spots around each other, and eventually they will get tall enough that they will block out the view up here. So again, these all look super happy, super healthy. These were all clearance plants when we first got them. I think we might have paid like $3 each for them. They were super late season in the clearance, and they looked really, really bad their first their first year in the ground. They did not look so hot. But then once we did some pruning the following growing season and gave them a little bit of fertilizer, gave them a little bit of love, they rebounded really nicely. And now you would not know that we paid like $3 each for each of them. Okay, so now it is time for me to jump in and do some digging and planting all around our yard. Some of these are going in the front, some of these are going in the back, but I am looking forward to documenting how all of these super cheap fall clearance plants grow over the years, because if there's one thing that I believe strongly, it's that you do not have to pay a lot of money to have a beautiful garden. So until my next video, happy planting.